Hi, my name is Jake Morse, and this is Uncoded. Today I'm going to be breaking down the production and songwriting of my newest song called 5-Year Plan. I'm 22, fuck a 5-year plan, I ain't tryna be like... This is basically a song about just kind of being that rebellious dude that's like, hey, fuck your 5-year plan. I don't know what I'm going to be like in 5 years. Shit, I could join the 27 Club and die in 5 years, who knows? Hopefully not, but it's just a song about being young and not giving a fuck. I definitely give a fuck a lot of times, but sometimes you just feel like that, so that's kind of what this song was meant to represent. So to get started with the production of this song, this synth was really what started everything. It's an Alchemy synth. I played these chords. I probably originally created them on a piano or something, but when I put them into this synth, when I was starting to do sound selection, when I put them in, they just sounded like this immediately. So I think it's like partially an arpeggiator and partially like a delay, an echo type thing. So I don't know, some of these synths in Alchemy can be really weird and like almost too much effects on them, but this one just happened to like have just enough movement to just kind of let what I played in the chord progression be a little more interesting, enough to then loop through almost the entire song. And so I took that and I just layered, I took those effects off of it and layered just the basic version of that synth on here. In the verses at some points it just strips down to just that synth and doesn't have the arpeggiated delayed version. In the chorus I also have this piano layered under it, and these are all just playing the same chords, as you can kind of tell, but this piano goes like this. Just playing in a higher octave actually of the piano, and then it's like a very, very filtered out piano as well, as you can hear, like not a lot of super low end, not a lot of super high end, just adding a little interesting piano texture. And then I got this same synth playing but at a higher octave, so I just have that layered during the chorus. It's playing that, and then I have this bass synth, which I took I think it was just the root notes of the chords. I'm not 100% sure what I did. I think it was just the root notes of the chords, and then like occasionally I'd go up an octave in spots and do little interesting things, but this is what the bass synth sounds like. And keep in mind, this synth is cuts out a lot of low end for it to be a bass synth, so it's really kind of like this middle low end frequency that's coming through. But it just gives it this sort of extra melody to it that it might not, and this sort of extra layer of frequency. I don't know, it's hard to explain all these different frequency things, but basically I have two 808s. One's sort of giving you a higher frequency that you can pick up on smaller speakers, and one's playing this really low subby thing. So those three things together really round out a lot of different frequencies in that low end, which kind of fills up that space a lot. Pretty much just a few different variations of which synth plays in which part. You can just see there's a lot of different combos of the original synth playing, the higher version of the synth, the filtered version of the synth, you know what I mean? There's just a lot of different versions of those synths that come in and out throughout the thing to make it sort of interesting. And then before I get into the drums, the last part musically was this bridge that I did. So right here it changes up to some marimbas. And then I add a layer of a higher octave marimba right here. And we have this guitar that my dude Aaron came and played again, so shout out Aaron. So we got 3 different takes, and so you can hear this one. If you'll notice, I opened a beer right there, cracked a can of Bud Light open in the middle of his take, kind of to be funny, mostly just to be funny. And then, so you got this one on the right. And he's just playing the chords on an acoustic guitar. Did 2 takes with the mics really close to him, and then he did this one take where we opened my bedroom door because there's this big hallway out there. The staircase has a really high ceiling, and it's just very echoey, and so I think we opened that just in case we could catch any extra room noise and reverb from out there. So this is him pretty far away from the mic. And then I put some reverb on it too to just really sort of send it home and give it that roomy feeling. But all 3 of those guitars together with the marimba come in like this for that bridge. And I'm hitting that crazy falsetto. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all that stuff going on there with the chords. It's really just, I made this little chord progression and turned it into a whole lot of stuff. And yeah, so next I added the drums. So the kicks go something like this. This kick, it sort of almost sounds like you're dribbling a basketball in a big open gym. It's just this texture though, and it's got reverb on it too, and a couple other things, just sort of to be a texture, an interesting texture on the kick. And this kick is specifically to just make it knock hard and sound like a real kick. So those kicks together just sound pretty cool. And then I have 4 snares layered on top of each other if you want to hear them. I'll play them individually real quick. They go like this. Together, all 4 of those snares sound like this. And so that makes up the base of the kick and snare pattern. And then you add in the hi-hat for a little bounce here. And as you've seen in a couple of these episodes, I got this halftime hi-hat, so I take the plug-in halftime. And this one's set to 1 bar. And I just put it here, and it sounds a little something like this. So that adds a different little bounce to it, and I just kind of mix it in subtly to go with this other hi-hat. And so together they sound like this. And finally we got this open hi-hat that you kind of hear this. This is another one of my sort of signature things that I do a lot. I got the open hi-hat with the sort of slowdown effect, so it's kind of like, you know, just a little tape stop effect almost. But all those drums together will go like this. I mean, that's pretty much it for all the production. So the songwriting. So I originally wrote the concept for this song. I just wrote down like 5-year plan. Like that might be an interesting thing to write a song about because, you know, people, I think, especially like in their 20s, if they're going for a job, whatever it is, like, I don't know, they like to talk about a 5-year plan. And then, I don't know, when I went to go write the song after I wrote down that concept, I was just like, why the fuck I need a 5-year plan? I was just sort of in this thing where I was just like not giving a fuck, and I was just like, I'm 22, fuck a 5-year plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but it rolled off my tongue better as 22. I'm 22, fuck a 5-year plan, but I was actually 21 when I wrote the song, so I had to wait until after May to put the song out so that I'd be 22. I don't know, I'm just kind of looking around at these people that I'm surrounded by, like in my town and all around me in life, that they're just like making this 5-year plan. I'm gonna go into my job, my new career, and I have a nice 5-year plan. My 5-year plan is to own a home in the town that I grew up in and just die here. Like, I don't know. I guess there's nothing wrong with that if that's what your 5-year plan is and that's what you want to do with your life. But I don't know, it's just, for me, I see a lot more, I want to experience a lot more, so I don't really want to be like, okay, here's my 5-year plan. At most, I'll be planning what I want to achieve by the end of a year. I mean, it's probably a responsible thing to make a 5-year plan, but I don't know. Not for me, I guess. I ain't trying to be like you in fucking 5 years, man. I'll have been around the world. I'm gonna be doing my thing, have a house with my queen, and be living like a king. I mean, that, all things considered, that kind of sounds like a 5-year plan, like travel, buy a house. I don't know. But what I'm trying to communicate by saying that is like, I'm not gonna make a 5-year plan, but in 5 years, I'm gonna be doing way more than the person that had this very specific 5-year plan. Because I just try to accomplish as much as I possibly can every day without saying this is my 5-year plan. But when I look back from 5 years ago, I've accomplished a lot without making a 5-year plan. So in 5 years, I presume that I'll have done the same. Fuck a dream, I ain't sleeping. Wide awake, still believe it. A dream is something that you think about and you don't act on. You know, a dream is like, oh, I'd love to win the lottery, you know? But that's not like, yeah, you can play the lottery, but you're not really working towards anything. I see it less as a dream and more of like, this is something I can accomplish. I know what I have to do to make my way there. And it's also sort of a double meaning of like I'm not sleeping because I'm working so damn hard. I don't know, I've been trying to improve my sleep patterns, but a lot of times I just can't help but stay up and work on shit like music shit and other creative things because they just keep me awake, and I'm just not sleeping because I'm so hungry to achieve that goal. Grind as long as I'm breathing. Fake love, I don't need it. Confident when I'm on the mic, so there's absolutely no reason. Bitch, I'm feeling myself. Yeah, I don't need people to like fake support me. I think a lot of people have sort of been like, yeah, dude, do the music thing, that'll be cool, but just like make sure that you maintain on doing your regular job, because it's a fun little dream, but it's hard to be a successful musician. It's like, that's fake love. Like, you're supporting me, but you're not. You're giving me like backhanded compliment type support. So I don't need that shit. I don't need you to pretend. Like, you can just be like, hey, you're a fucking idiot. Stop trying to do music as a career. Do a fucking regular job. And I'll just say, hey, like, fuck you. You know? And I don't need people to like pretend to like my music either, because I'm confident when I'm on the mic. I'm not always so particularly confident about other things in my life, but that's one thing that I'm super confident about, because I earned that confidence because I've worked really hard at this music shit for a long time. Nobody here ain't sharing the wealth, family and health, that and success, all I'm caring about. So other than like my friends and my brother that helped me create this stuff, helped me make these music videos and make the podcast with me and all that stuff, and Alessandra, who helps me and we make music together, and we, without, other than those people, like, none of y'all other people are getting paid when I make it. Like, other than my family, like, I'm gonna help my family out. If you're my family, or the like literally 4 people that are here working with me right now, sorry, like, if you weren't here in the beginning, you're not getting paid. Like, they're earning their time right now. Jumping like into the middle of the second verse, can't forget when I started out and I thought I had no weakness. I was feeling myself doing the shit with the hand I was dealt. iPod Touch and a cheap mic, trying to learn how to make a beat right. I still had that confidence. Shitty flow, they was talking shit. So I guess to talk about that a little bit, when I started really making music on my own, I had this free app on my phone that was called like Studio or something. There's something, it's probably not on the App Store anymore because it's a horrible app. It's like you could record like 4 tracks of audio separately, and that's it. And you could sort of do like mixing up and down with just the levels of the volume. And so I found a way to import beats into that. And I don't know, I was sort of messing around on that, but before that I had this other app that was like, I think it's called DM1. You can look that up. I think that would still be on the App Store. I'm not sure, but it's like just like a drum sequencer, and I think you can maybe add melody of some sort. But I just made like little drum beats basically because I played the drums, and so I was just into making drum beats. And I would make drum beats and not really have any melody or anything to it because I didn't know how to play other types of music. Like, I didn't understand keys at all. Like, if you got me in front of a keyboard, I was probably like hitting them like they were a rhythm instrument, like, and just occasionally hitting little patterns that might have sounded like a melody, but pretty much it was all rhythm. And so I was making these terrible beats on an iPod Touch. And then when I started recording raps, I had like these Skull Candy headphones that had a microphone like on the wire for them. And so like that was a little bit better than recording onto the built-in microphone. So that's how I was recording for a while. And then I finally got this microphone that was like not a condenser microphone, but like one of those ones that you hold like at a performance. Like that's what it looked like. And then it just had this like aux cord that plugged into the iPod Touch and made it so that you could record slightly better quality into your iPod Touch or iPad, but I didn't have an iPad yet. And I was doing that like between, I think, the end of 8th grade going in, and then like the summer before I went into high school was when I was really doing that stuff. And it was just horrible. Like, I was the cringiest rapper ever. I was horrible at rapping. I was rapping over my horrible beats or rapping over Mac Miller beats. Dude, I thought I was the man. I was like showing people and shit. I was like, yo, listen to what I did over this Mac Miller beat, bro. They're like, oh, dude, I love that song. Play that song though. Like, you know, like the beat that I was rapping over, they'd be like, yo, play that song. I love that song. But I was talking shit. Like, I was talking about shit. I thought I was the man. And in high school, they were mocking it at the high school I went to for 2 years. The kids on that hockey team all called me 2 Chainz, like as just an ironic making fun of me for being a rapper type thing. And they all would like, they'd all be like, yo, Jake, I heard you do mixtape, bro. I was quiet and never did anything to annoy anyone, so like they didn't outright bully me, but like they would make fun of my mixtape. Anyway, then it goes into the bridge and I hit this crazy falsetto. I actually sang the chorus and then the bridge came in after I finished recording, and I was completely fucking around and I was just like, na 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 na, like just completely messing around, being an idiot. And then I like threw some auto-tune on it and I was like, wait a minute, that sounded fucking sick. So I kept that as the bridge. It's just like kind of a funny moment of just like I was completely fucking around and it ended up sticking as like this really cool moment in the song. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it a lot. Make sure you subscribe, and we're putting out a podcast next week, and putting out a music video the week after, and then a new song the week after that. So just stick around. Most of that content ends up here on the YouTube, so I mean, this is a good spot to start out and subscribe. But if you don't follow me everywhere else, go ahead and do that. Got a bunch of links in the description and all that. And yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate you.